Welcome to another episode of Close the Gap Podcast. I'm your host, JR. Y'all know the vibes. If y'all feeling the podcast, again, go ahead and subscribe in one of these little sections where you're going to see the subscribe button and leave your comments. Again, guys, thank you very, very much for following, listening, and leaving your comments. I truly appreciate it. You guys know from the bottom of my heart that I love everything that you guys have given me, your time, your ear, and your suggestions. So let's get right into it. I have with me a business strategist, a leadership development trainer, the founder of visionsenterprises.com, and I got to read it because you got a long list, the Lunch and Learn radio show, and the American Express Open Forum business advisor, and now you can add to that list an author.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So to the left, I have DeKesha Williams, and again, that long list of resume, right, that you got. Say hi to the people.
You know, it's funny because when I hear that, it just brings back memory. I'm like, is that me? You talking about me?
You talking about you, right? So when I looked this up, because I do my research, right? I said, wow, that's an impressive resume.
Thank you.
Right? I think so. Especially you're an author and you were in another book. Is that correct?
I did. This year, we did they call them, and it just blew my mind. But anthology.
Okay.
They call them an anthology where you co-author with other co-authors, and that one was a phenomenal release, like March of this year, and I turned around and released my own book in April of this year.
So that says what's a matter of like 6 months?
Yeah, that was that was the first part of the year. Like literally the first quarter of the year, I had 2 books released this year.
Well, good for you.
Thank
Let me
you.
find out. So let's talk a little bit more. Tell the people a little bit about who you are, DeKesha, like where you come from, and a little bit about your background.
All right, so listen, my name is DeKesha Williams, your virtual COO, and I'm just that chick that lost the same job twice, building a business from the success of my own and the comfort of my own home.
Okay.
Now, usually when I say that, I get eyeballs because they're like, what you mean you lost the same job twice?
Yeah, explain that because I'm trying to figure that out myself.
So what's funny is now I was working for a company based out of Sadie, Utah, for about 5.5 years, and I mean I was doing good. Like, yeah. I had a company card. Like I was renting cars. I had all the Delta Sky Miles, hotel points.
Right.
Like I literally was getting mail at the Hartsfield International Airport, which is in Atlanta. Like that's how often I was flying through Atlanta.
You was living in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I can remember at that time it was before kindergarten, so he was probably 3. And that's my son I'm actually referring to. And I remember the day that I actually dropped him off at school that day. It was January the 10th or 11th of 2010. And my regional manager had called me.
Right.
And I literally, because every day I drop him off, my son, he's a different breed. Like he would stand at the door and wave.
Right. And
he would not get off this chair until I would wave back, and then he would go about it every day, consistently. So I had just finished waving to him, and my regional manager calls me and says, did you get the email? And I'm like, get the email? We literally received an email that said we had ceased operations.
Get out of here.
And I had to call 67 plus employees and tell them to go home.
Get out of here.
Yep. And fast forward, I know. And so the number one question was, am I going to get paid?
Right.
I couldn't answer that question.
Right.
And so they
60
filed bankruptcy.
plus people, you couldn't even answer that question.
I couldn't. I didn't know.
And they filed
I wanted to know if I was going to get paid.
That's a fact, right? Right. Like before I answer your question, let me figure.
Plus, I had vacation time, at that point in time. And so they filed bankruptcy, and we were actually blessed enough to be able to, they called us back. Not everybody.
Yep.
But they called us back, and that was within, I don't know, maybe 6 months. They called us back.
Right.
And we opened over 160 stores in a matter of 90 days.
Dang.
Yeah, I wasn't able to bring everybody back, but it was something about this time that was a little bit different.
Okay.
Like, I have a daughter. She's 19 now.
Right.
And he's 13.
Okay.
So during that time frame when I went back, he was going into kindergarten, she was going into 6th grade. And so, you know, I wanted to be like there.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to be present.
Right.
For both of them. And she was going into middle school. So, you know, a lot goes on in middle school. And I'm like, I want to be around. I need not be flying as much, right? Right. And so August 24, 2011, I put in my pink slip. I went on leave of absence.
Check you out.
I'm still on leave of absence. Hashtag longest leave ever.
Right. Right. I love it.
Fast forward, what, 8 years?
8 years, right? It's still on that. I love it. Hey, y'all hear it. It could happen.
So that's literally how I was able to leave corporate America and switch completely into entrepreneurship. And at that point in time, it's one of those things where it had to work. I had nothing else.
And I want to get into that.
I had nothing else.
So I asked this question. I always ask this question to my guests as the first question. Do you remember what part of being an entrepreneur busted your ass?
Do I remember? Oh, wow. Which part?
Which part? Which part do you remember that busted your ass in the beginning?
In the beginning? In the beginning was trying to find like that first client.
Okay.
Oh, man. Because you don't have, you know, when you are in corporate America, you have a resume. You have managers that will be able to vouch on your behalf about your credibility, about your job ethic, your work ethic. Yeah. You don't have that as an entrepreneur, especially when you are starting. You don't have that. You don't have that resume to say that I've done this. The only thing you can say is this is what I've done for companies, not what I've done for small business owners.
Right, because you have that, and I know exactly what you mean, right? Because when you say I've done this for company, you have that, I guess, support from that company to kind of give you that
manager, right? And say, or I can pull reports and say, I opened 160 locations in a matter of 90 days. Yes, I can show you a report that my district was the #1 district in our entire region. Like, that's my lingo. But when you say, well, what has DeKesha done in the entrepreneurial field? It was like,
So I just started yesterday, and I'm good.
I've been reading some books and watching some online training.
Right. I'm nice with it.
Right.
So according to the training.
That right there. And it's funny that you made me think about that. Nobody's ever asked me that. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So keep going, because you put your pink slip. You're still on it. Mm-hmm. And you said that you can't lose, right? This is not an option to lose.
No.
Go in the beginning.
I had nothing to fall back on. And this goes into a whole, another issue that we don't think about. Mm-hmm. I didn't have a savings plan.
Look at that.
I didn't have like a cushion or something like that.
Right.
Like my transition was not really expected.
Okay.
I thought that I was gonna find another job, to be quite honest with you.
Really? Was it gonna be a part-time? Were you thinking I can do this part-time and still be here for the kids?
No, I was thinking that I would find me another full-time job, and I would continue to grow my business on the side. Like, that was what I was thinking. Yeah. But I kept getting declined or denied. Like, I kept getting, like, rejection letters.
Really?
I was overqualified.
I hate that, right?
And I'm like, well, how you going to tell me, like, if I want to make half of what I was making, like, that's my paycheck. Like, let me make
let me make it
$60,000 or $50,000 because I want to make $50,000. Like, I might not want the responsibilities of management.
See, I like what you said right there, because a lot of people, they look at the income, but they don't realize what the responsibility is when that income.
Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Right, and then some don't, and it's okay, right? And then for a corporation, and just again, my personal opinion, they should have hired you. Why not get the best that wants to get paid less?
Right.
What is that going to do? That's not going to do anything for harm your company in any way. You're really, literally getting the best for less.
Well, and here's another thing that I was coming up against. The longer I stayed out, it's like, well, why you want to come back now?
It's like when you're playing sports, right?
Right.
And then like look at Melo, right?
Right.
Melo came. He was sitting out. And then when he was sitting out for a while.
Yeah.
No NBA team was picking him up. He comes back, And then people are like, why are you trying to come back?
Yeah, like, what's with... Yeah, they looking at you like, what's with that?
What's going on?
Like, your business not doing good?
Your business not doing good?
It's
can you still ball? Like, they're questioning. The questions are everywhere.
And so after that, I was like, all right, so maybe this is just a sign that I need to give it everything. I need to give it 150%.
So then, was the business move always going to be consulting in some form?
No.
What was the business the first business, I guess?
Well, I've actually had several businesses over the course of my life.
Okay.
But the main one was SassyShoeGallery.com, which was an online shoe company, which is the brand that Baxton actually designed.
Shout out to Baxton Baylor.
Like, let me tell you something. There is no logo that can top my Sassy Shoe Gallery logo, and I still have it. And anyway, that's a whole other conversation. And so, like, it's funny because I wrote a business plan.
Okay.
I wrote a business plan, submitted it to an organization, and they actually gave me over $30,000 in funding to start that company.
Wow.
And when you don't know what you don't know, I went through $30,000 so fast, like it was not even funny. But I bought $15,000 worth of inventory.
Okay, so
this was before I learned about drop shipping.
Okay.
I was hot. Like, that was a $15,000 lesson.
Yeah. It's an expensive lesson.
Yes. I'm like, why y'all ain't tell me about drop shipping like 2 years ago before I spent $15,000?
But you know what, though? Right there. Why didn't anybody share that, right? Or why are that gap of knowledge, right? Again, like I was telling you before we came on, it was, that's the reason why I do this.
Yeah.
Right? It's because you have knowledge that you could share with somebody that is probably going through, and you can probably save them $15K.
Oh, and and I say that now, like that's one of the ways that I transitioned into consulting. You were asking, I never saw myself as consulting.
Really?
But they used to ask me, like, how'd you get $30,000?
I mean, that's a valid question.
And so I started writing business plans, and let me tell you, like, you talking about painful? Like, it's hard. It's hard to write somebody else's business plan because you have to feel their vision. You have to kind of put yourself into like their shoes and see what it is that they want to write it for somebody.
Right. Oh, so hold on. Right? Let's rewind real quick. So you were writing business plans.
Yeah, because that's how I got funded. Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I mean, like, when I tell y'all the prices.
Go ahead.
Listen, I laugh now. I mean, I think I was charging, like, anywhere from, like, $397. I think it was $597, and I might have gotten to, like, maybe $1297 when we switched the process a little bit. Ooh. So, when I look at you ask somebody now, they'll probably charge you at least $2,000-$3,000.
That's what I was going to say. I said, ooh, because you was giving a discount.
Yeah.
Okay, because business plans, those that haven't wrote a business plan yet, we're talking about like maybe around here amount of pages that is needed.
Oh, yeah.
And the time that's getting put, because you're going to get that research. Funding. Yeah, you just can't sit there and write bullshit.
No,
right?
You have to be able to justify
your spend.
Yeah,
how much? What you're getting the money? Yeah, what you're going to market and
how
all
you
that.
Make money.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit. So you were doing I guess my biggest question was the networking with pros your first event that you ever put on, or were you putting events on before? I told you I do my research out here.
You went back.
I'm doing my work.
That's funny because I'm visualizing the marketing piece on the networking with pros.
I saw that.
Compared to where I am now.
I saw that too. It's a big change.
Yes, boy. But you gotta grow. That's growth.
No,
and you know what? Humble.
I love it.
Humble. Love it. I'm not even mad. So yes, networking with pros was one of my first events.
Why? Can you kind of go back and what made you do that event? Where were you in life when you said, you know what? And it was free. You didn't charge, right? I think that was a free event.
That one was free. I think I did another one. That was like $47.
Explain that free event. That first event, free. Why? And what was your mindset with that?
So there's a couple of different business models that you can use out here to get butts in the seats.
Okay.
And so one is the free business model, right? And then you sell something there. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't sell anything at the free event. I think at that time I was a part of a network marketing company.
Okay.
So we were using that as a way to do our presentation as well,
Okay.
and as a business endeavor for me. So, I felt like at that time, and this is funny because at that time I felt like in order to help grow your business, you needed to network.
Do you not feel that way now?
Nope.
We're going to go into that. Okay.
And y'all can DM me. You can do whatever. You can find me online. But that is not the priority. Matter of fact, I posted Thursday or Friday. Well, it was Thursday. It was Thursday. If you go on my Facebook feed,
okay,
this Thursday, there's a little kid having a temper tantrum at the table because I had to be at a networking event.
Really?
Yes. I was like, I don't want a network. I want to go build a funnel.
We're gonna go into that because I want to know what the funnel is, and I want because that's right, because people still now say it's all about who you know,
and it is, but you got
to know those people by networking with them. That's what they say. Okay.
So let me clarify when I say networking, because networking with pros was an actual live event.
Oh, okay.
So when I say networking, I mean like the individuals that are going to all these local networking events, and you hopping and skipping from each one is not going. That to me is a long road to actually grow your business. That I agree. So when I say networking, I mean like the local event to event or network meeting. Like, yes. Dude, if you're not making any money, like.
No, I agree, right? Because that's how I feel. And we were talking a little bit about this too, right? It's for me, I'm always about giving a lot of value out for free and not asking for a lot, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to a networking event to sit, especially the ones that it always seems like you got 15 minutes here, then you go to another room and you got another hit. Right, pass your card here, and all you're doing is this. All you see is cards getting passed, and what's crazy is my very first one, I started to know that this was kind of a joke, was when they're not even looking at your business card. They're not even knowing.
Let me tell you something, and he could probably attest to this. Even to this day, like right now, like I have piles of business cards. Like it's almost embarrassing how many business cards that I have in my office right now. If I go in my office closet, there is because you can use a shoebox.
Yeah.
So you file stuff in the shoebox. Yep. Like I have, and we used to have them organized. Like
yeah.
I had somebody alphabetize them in order. Like never. I mean, what did it do for me?
And what's crazy is, it's funny that you even say that. I remember moving from Northern Virginia to Richmond, and my now wife was helping me move. Mm-hmm. And I had a drawer of business cards.
Absolutely.
Stacks of them. Mm-hmm. She was like, what are you going to do with these? And technically, one, are these people still working there?
That's the thing.
And some of them probably don't work there anymore. Second, what are they going to do for you? Because at that time, I didn't know where I was going. Right. So she was like, dump them, right? Yeah. Dump them, and if you're going to get more, go get the ones that are going to help you progress in your future. And from there, I was like, shit, she just kicked some knowledge.
Listen.
Damn, I got to start listening. I don't listen a lot. Right. I mean, I don't, and I guess that's just the man in me. I should, but anyways, I listen there. That's a whole different episode. Right, that's a whole different podcast. So, you mentioned in your intro, virtual COO.
Yes.
Why virtual CEO, and what does that even mean?
So, you have to understand that every organization, as a CEO, needs an operational manager that helps them run the day-to-day facets of their business. Right. That's what I did in corporate America. Okay. I've been in operations management since I was 16 years old. Okay. Like I was assistant manager at Paramount Kings Dominion at 16.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Like I've been in management since I was 16. Like that was one of the first jobs when I was in college. And so when I thought about the transition from district manager managing 13 locations, 60 employees. Yep. And I'm like, well, I could literally do the same thing from home. Okay. So now I am overseeing online businesses, like their day-to-day operations.
Now, are these businesses that live solely online, or do they also have a brick and mortar?
No, these are 100% online businesses.
Oh, okay.
Coaches, authors, speakers.
Yeah.
Consulting.
Yeah.
Like 100% online.
Okay. So then, I love it, right? Because that's where, that's the shift, the paradigm shift that happened in business, right? That's why
absolutely.
you see certain businesses close down, right? Certain businesses like Toys R Us, they lost to Amazon.
Right.
And I'm not kicking just bullshit. That's a fact, right?
No, I come from the retail space, so I watched
know.
that. Yeah,
I also did retail. I've worked at. I'm a shoe fanatic, so I worked at like the Foot Lockers and the Finish Line just to get this discounts for the shoes.
USA,
Yo, I'm all about it. I'm all about. You couldn't tell me nothing.
I was just talking about that yesterday.
You could tell me nothing. I'm like, I got the new J's. I got them on a discount. Anyways, I had a reason for it.
Yeah.
So I know what's happening, like, and I've seen the shift of the just the change.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
In that. So being that, I saw on your website you said something that it says define, design, and draft.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that mean?
So that was in the beginning where you had to define what it is that you want to do.
Yep.
In business.
Yep.
You had to design the strategy or execution plan, and then you had to draft the methodology in order to get it done.
Okay.
One of the things that I realized with entrepreneurs is that they don't have a knowledge problem; they have an execution problem. I'm gonna say that again.
Say it again.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that again.
Because you just gave somebody. I had to drink that drink quick. Say it again.
You don't have a knowledge problem; you have an execution problem.
Such facts. Oh my goodness, DeKesha, that was my problem. I had ideas.
It was mine.
And I love it, right? Because that's what this is all about. It's all about being very transparent, right? And nothing to hide.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. People have a problem executing. And it could be from a bunch of stuff. Just, a lack of self-awareness, to people in their ear, to doubt, but that execution.
I had a client tell me yesterday, she does, it's interesting because she does education on explanation of benefits, which is EOB, when you get a bill. Like if you go to the doctor or you go to the hospital, right? Yeah. They send you a bill, they send you explanation of benefits. Some people are probably like, what is she talking about?
That's a fact.
That's a problem.
I still look at that and like, what the hell?
Right. So she educates on that, which is like beast.
That is.
Somebody told her, don't go with the patients because your money is with the doctors. I said, well, let me ask you something. Is this something that they're doing?
Yeah.
Like are they doing this already? She's like, no. I said, then you don't need to be listening to them. Like we listening to the wrong people.
We are.
Like we listening to people that sit down home watching TV.
You see, okay. One of the other reasons why I did close the gap was because, again, I'm a Hispanic male, okay? And I've worked with a lot of different minority companies, okay? And some of the minorities that I've worked with do not want to listen to another minority telling them how to move. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm what I'm trying to do is compare, because what you're saying is people don't want to listen, right? And if you have somebody explaining something to you, especially documents like that can go right over your head.
I'm gonna take it to another level.
All right, go ahead.
So here is something that I face as a female African American entrepreneur.
Go. Yeah. Please share.
I actually have, and this is not all the time, but I've seen where some men and then other men of other races have a problem with my strategy and listening to strategy and implementing from me.
Oh, I get it.
It blew my mind.
You know what? As a male, Hispanic male, I'm always the type of mind, like I feel like I don't have to dress up unless if I'm like really going into some major company. Right. I'm not going to dress up for you. I'm just not. But what's in here, shouldn't matter what I'm wearing. It's what's in here. But what's funny is even when I start kicking game, for some reason they still look at me like, yo, this kid, a kid. I'm a grown damn man. Let's first make that straight up.
Not a kid.
I'm not a kid. But they look at me like that, and they look at me because I'm not what they would consider presentable.
Right.
But it doesn't matter how I look. If I can tell you how to gain new followers, engagement, increase your click-through rate, decrease your cost per click, and this is all marketing terms and paid marketing terms, what does it matter? But to your point, you still have those people that go blank. All they see is woman. All they see is color.
And I still made him 1,000% increase. I didn't say it wrong.
Talk your shit. I
said 1,000% increase.
There you go. So what was the problem, right? But people got a problem, right? So let's go back to the book, because technically you did 2 books within a 6-month time frame.
Yeah.
Right.
Now that you say it like that, wow.
Yeah. I was gonna ask you how you felt, but you just said how you felt. Wow. Okay. Tell me what made you write the first book, because the first book is that correct? That was the one.
That was the anthology.
No, okay.
Speak Up was the anthology. It came out in like March.
So your second book was the one that you solely wrote and published.
I did, and I kicked and screamed for 2 years.
Why? Why write the book? What was?
I don't write. I hate writing.
So why'd you do it?
I want to build funnels.
Right.
I want to play online.
I just want to do that. I don't want to do anything else.
So, one of my business besties is out of Indiana.
Okay.
That's all she does. Like, even in our conversation, she could find a book in this conversation. It's like, that's a book. Like, everything is a book. So she's like, well, when is your book coming out? I don't know. Next year. Next month. Whatever. Okay. And so she kept saying that a book is the new business card. A book is the new business card.
Why is that?
There's credibility when you write a book.
Yeah.
There's credibility when you have a book published on Amazon. You have to think about it. Even when in the corporate space, this is one of the things that I'm learning, is that when you have a book, the corporate company or the company, they may not pay you as a speaker, but they'll buy 600 copies of your book for their team.
You're right. I've worked for a company that bought a book. I guess it was a personality book.
And then they'll bring the author in.
They didn't even bring the author. They just bought the book. But to your point, they bought 600 copies.
Right. And so the book is the new business card. And so I was like, okay. So real funny thing. I was on a Black CEO morning show for about probably, I don't know, like 14 to 18 months. And every day I had to come up. It was because I'm a profit producer. I do all things profit. So we had the profitability minute. Okay. And so every day I showed them ways to make money in their business. I had to come up, like, I repurpose them. So I took 40 of the best profitability minutes and I put it in a book. It was the easiest book I ever came up with in my life. Wow. And she helped me format it and upload it. And when I updated my LinkedIn profile that I was now author of the book, The 40 Ways to Generate Revenue in Your Business, somebody inboxed me and asked me to speak in 2020. Damn. And I think I had 2 speaking opportunities within 24 to 48 hours of updating my LinkedIn. Because
Close the Gap is a platform where people can talk their shit, are these paid?
So check this out. So the first one is not paid, and I think it's somewhere in Virginia Beach. But, and so I had to give her Vanessa Collins. Y'all look her out. Shout out to Vanessa Collins, my business bestie, right? Another young lady actually purchased the book. Never heard of her before in my life. Okay. Turned around and paid $800 in full for a course. So this $15 book generated $880 worth of profit. Wow. Because I got a new client. Okay. So then is this book, and we're going to touch a little bit about the marketing stuff, but just to get into it a little bit, is the book hard copy and a digital copy as well? It's a Kindle version, and then you can get the physical copy on Amazon. All you got to do is type in my name, DeKesha Williams, and you can get the book on Amazon. Okay. Like, and I mean, it literally... So y'all heard that. I am an implementation person. Like, hence the shirt, right. Get ish done. Yeah. Like, they come to me to actually get ish done. Okay. So in the book is no fluff.
I like it. So straight to the point.
This is what you need to do.
All tactics
this is
and what you can implement. See, that's important for me.
Once again, if I tell people, and one of the things, and because I just launched like a coaching aspect of my business.
Okay.
Where I do coaching. Because for a while we were all things implementation.
Okay.
And my clients will tell you, like, if you do not have success when you work with DeKesha, you didn't do what she asked you to do. They'll complete the sentence for me. You didn't do your work.
Yeah, you see, I'm like you, DeKesha, 100% like you. When I'm giving advice to anybody, and you can even ask, the crew here, the advice is not so broad where he's going to be like, the hell does that mean? And figure it out. No, it's technically A, B, C, D. And it's the same way even when I'm speaking to whomever about marketing. I'm never just going to give you something broad. I'm going to give you something that you can technically take with you today and implement it.
Absolutely.
And it will give you a result. Now, the way you implement it, it could be a negative and a positive. It's a little different with digital marketing, right? But I'm going to try to I'm always going to give you the tactic to do something positive for your business. Okay. And I think that, for me, is value. That's the best value you could give. And that's why I asked, we got connected by a mutual friend. Shout out to Jay Sharp.
Yes, sir.
And when I started looking and everything, that's what you do. Even on your
social media.
You're giving, whether it's very positive, whether it's
straightforward, so that I can be present with my kids. And so I attract single moms.
Okay.
I attract moms who are still working 9 to 5 and who want to shift from out of the 9 to 5.
Okay.
90% of them are African American women.
Wow. Yeah. Check that out. All right. So we back. Had a little hiccup with the technical difficulties. Call it what it is. I can't front. You guys know I don't really do any type of editing. So let's go right back into it, DeKesha. So you need to get past. All right, you go ahead. You can come out.
Sure.
Yeah. Shout out to Signorama. That's where we're at. He's one of the owners scrolling by doing his work. Shout out to them. I always let me just stop real quick and give a shout out to Signorama. My guy Carlos. If it wasn't for him, honestly, DeKesha, I don't know where I'll be filming this. To be honest with you, I'm not even going to lie to you. I won't. I just don't know.
That's good though.
I would probably say.
You gotta have a team.
Yeah, super blessed. Again, shout out to them. Come holler at them. Again, Richmond, Signorama, Carlos, get at him. Definitely, he's the one who created the banner for me, and does a great job. Did the cups as well. Let me just, a little branding. But let's get right into it again. We were talking because I asked you, and I think the camera picked it up. But let's get into that conversation a little bit deep. Because I seen in your social media stuff that you do interact with a lot of minorities, African Americans.
Yeah.
But you were saying that wasn't by design.
No. If you look at my avatar is women, period.
Yeah.
Like, I want to work with women who want to be able to create the lifestyle that they deserve to live.
Right.
It just so happens that I attract a lot of African American women. And that's not to say that some of my clients, like I have a client now that's in London.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
However, pond.
And it's funny because I actually have 20% male clients.
20% male clients. Okay.
Yeah. And again, I don't market to men. I don't necessarily market to African American women.
Right. It just happens to be.
You attract what you are.
I love it though, because then, again, it's just a good feeling where we can help our community, but there's a genuine to that, right? Because you're not like you said, you're not marketing to them, right? And because we see that all the time, we see people trying to market to Hispanics, to African Americans.
If you see my marketing literally, and honestly, I changed so when I started Visions Consulting, it was a pink purple brand. And so it was more feminine.
Right.
So in the last probably a year or so, we shifted to the blue, black, white model.
Okay.
So it's versatile.
Right.
So it can attract anyone. Like, but if you look at my promotion, I don't say anything about working with African American women, African Americans, period. Like, I just want to help you make money from home.
That's it.
Whoever.
Right, exactly. If you
Whoever
want to
make money from home, like, that's who I want to help.
So let's talk a little bit about the marketing. Give me an example. How do you market yourself?
So one of the number one way that I generated and built my business was using a platform called webinars.
Okay, why?
Because it was the only technology or the only solution that was feasible for DeKesha Williams to be able to make money from home and not have to travel. Mm-hmm. When I started, I wasn't in a position where I could take a keynote speaking gig every week.
Right.
Like I couldn't, I wasn't in a position where I could submit proposals and travel to. I just love to travel, travel gig.
Yeah.
So to turn around and submit proposals to be speaking across the country, across the world, like that just didn't make sense.
Right.
So that was not in my business model. My business model needed to be where I could make money, what I call #sideline money, where I make money on the sideline because I have a football player who now plays basketball. My daughter is a competitive gymnast out of GW. Shout outs to GW and Margie.
Shout out.
She has a full ride to George Washington University.
I seen that too. Shout out. Yeah.
So I got to make money in the stands.
I love it. I love it. I mean, that's
There's been a
reality.
time I've been on the sideline like this in the inbox, and she's like, I want to sign up for your class. I log on to Infusionsoft. She sent me her credit card. Hold on, let me send you the link.
Right.
And I made close to $1,000 on the sideline at the football park.
I love it. I love
and people, they laugh when I say I make #sideline money.
But isn't that what business... Let me rephrase it. Let me rephrase what I'm about to say. Right? Good business should be to the point where you're giving people value and getting paid for it.
Absolutely.
Right?
So I take pictures because I was at a concert last summer, and I was in the middle of a launch.
Yeah.
I help people do a product launch.
Okay.
And so in the middle of the launch, I had someone sign up for my VIP program, and the watch will tell you when you get money.
Yeah. The watch will tell you.
The watch will tell you.
The watch will tell you when I make money. I heard.
So I don't know if it was the Temptations or something over here in Innsbruck.
Okay.
And it says notification of payment received $397, and I was like, what? And it's instant money. So I take pictures.
It's there.
I call it passive income.
So
earn revenue. I love it.
I love it for you.
I get excited.
I'm getting excited. Shit, and I don't got it, but I'm excited for you. I'm gonna say what it is. Okay, so then other than the webinars, how else do you market yourself?
100% online. Facebook. So let me tell you something. When people go to work, they log into the computer, they log into the server, and they put their username and password in, right?
Yep.
I log into Facebook the same way.
So is it just I'm hearing social media?
Yeah.
Do you do any paid online advertising?
I dabbled into ads probably a few years ago.
Okay.
And I just started to be intentional about paid advertising.
And where are you putting your money? Is it on Facebook advertising, or are we doing Google search?
So right now it's 100% on Facebook advertising, but we're getting ready to switch to the whole Google.
Okay.
Google ads, YouTube ads.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about that. I haven't done Google ads since the shoe company.
Okay. So then, now that cost per click historically has gone up every year.
Oh God, yeah.
So when you probably get on there and you probably put in, what are you going to try to market? If you don't mind me asking.
We're probably going to be marketing some programs. We do a launch 4 times a year. We have one in 2 weeks. But we do lead magnets.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do one that will promote one of our lead magnets, and then another one that will promote a webinar.
Okay.
Definitely a webinar.
So the cost per clicks for those particular verticals have gone up. They're pretty pricey, but it's doable, right? Mm-hmm. And And what I would, because again, my vertical, that's all I do. Mm-hmm. My 9 to 5 is all that is doing Facebook ads to Instagram paid ads to Google search and Google display and programmatic. So what I was gonna suggest, if you don't mind, is definitely dabble in the display aspect of Google.
Okay.
But at the same time, while you're doing that, is definitely get on and doing a lot of paid for Instagram because it's cheap still.
Okay? Yeah, so here's the thing about it.
Yeah.
So I believe unless you have disposable income.
Yep.
We did ours a little organic. So because if you don't know what you're doing, you can waste a lot of money.
Oh, that's a fact.
In ads.
No, that's a fact.
So unless you have, and so we're at the point now, this is why I'm excited, we're at the point now we can actually allocate money, for marketing, for ads. Because they can be expensive.
They can be, because like you just said, if you don't know what you're doing, they can be expensive, right? But now what I enjoy in being and doing that is the audience, mm-hmm. right? That you can target. You can get very granular on who you want to target. It's pretty crazy and pretty scary.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, for business owners, you know that you're going to be showing your ads in front of the people that are going to benefit. And it's not like throwing if done correctly,
right?
You're not going to just throw a huge blanket out there,
right,
and spending money, wasteful money.
Let me tell you, when I realized how specific you can target a person online, I was nervous.
I was nervous.
You gotta be careful what you put out online now.
No, that's a fact.
Because even the traffic, even the sites that you go to and you visit, what you do on Instagram, and to be honest with you, some of the stuff that we saying right now with our telephones sitting in front of us, we can go online right now and the ad will come up.
Oh, that's a fact. That's what I do for a living. I know. I'm hoping for that.
So I know how it just because I have a partner that's down in Florida.
Okay.
And so they ran ads for a client, and when we looked at the audience, it was freaking crazy.
Yeah, it gets to the point where, and it's important to be able to analyze that data, mm-hmm. and be able to form ads that attract to that audience that is literally looking for it.
And here's the thing that becomes really important that people have to understand too, is who are you targeting?
Oh, if you don't know that before jumping into that pool, then what you said before spending wasteful money is going to happen quicker than you can imagine. And that's why when I talk to people, they say, well, it doesn't work. Or I done Facebook and it didn't work. And the question is, do you know who you were targeting? Well, I wanted people to buy my product. And then I have to go, well, that's not actually a target audience.
Right. That's actually a behavior.
That's a behavior, and I want that behavior too, right? So what are you going to do about it?
We were taught, oh, just run an ad to Russell Brunson or Tony Robbins' audience.
What?
Yes.
But that's just saying do an audience for McDonald's.
And that's what I was going to say. I try to tell people, I'm like, you might as well get a sign and walk down the street and say, hey, I'm selling something.
Just be that person out there flipping that sign. You might as well.
You might as well. Because that is no longer a specific audience.
No, you have to, because now the way that whole ecosystem is created is to provide the person searching for certain products that relevant content.
Absolutely.
And that's what a lot of marketers, especially our business owners, have a tough time getting because, and the return of investment isn't right away.
Right.
Okay.
It's a buyer's journey.
It's a buyer. Thank you. It's a buyer's journey, and I've been trying to get people to understand that, right? Because what happens is they try for 30 days. I didn't get one person signing up for my class. This doesn't work. I don't want to do it anymore. Okay. Well. Slow down.
Right.
There's a buyer's journey. There's
there's a marketing funnel.
There's awareness. What is it? Awareness, consideration, and conversion.
Yeah.
Awareness, consideration, conversion. Like they need to find out who you are. They need to get in a conversation with you, and then they need to make a decision on whether or not they're going to buy with you.
And I don't know.
Period. Point blank.
That's it. But I don't see, and it's the same way as somebody coming into your store.
Right.
Okay. Coming in and they considered your store. They came in.
They came in,
and then they shopped around. Maybe they didn't find something in the beginning.
Right.
Because you know how this is. I'm that. Be like, hold up. Let me see what Amazon got.
Quick.
I'll be right back.
Quick.
I'm gonna step out and like try to see what Amazon got and be like, okay, maybe it might be cheaper.
Right.
I'm coming back in.
Right.
Okay. I was aware of them. I'm considering buying, and then I bought. But it's a process. It's the same thing for brick and mortar. It's the same thing for online.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important. And I think if anybody can understand that, they'll get it. Do you still do free events? No free events.
No.
But you did it but you were doing it for at the beginning?
I only did 2. I only did like 1 or 2 free events. And so the next one I did in 2014, it was $97, and it was like pulling teeth to get people to pay $97 for. I mean, this was Bull and Bear Club. This was a country club downtown.
Okay.
And I provided food, $97. So we actually just did a mastermind. Like I fought for years. I didn't want to do live events anymore because it was just so hard to get them to pay $97.
Right.
Well, now that we've established a online presence and our clients are global, like they want to come together and
global
have their
clients. Y'all heard that.
You heard that, right?
Yeah.
I don't want no local brand. I want a global brand.
I heard that. I heard it.
But they want to come face to face. And so, I had to take a deep look inside of me because, again, it's easier to convert when you've had that relationship and they're in front of you and they're spending 2 days with you and you ask them to invest, they're going to reinvest or they're going to take that first investment.
That's a fact.
And so with that understanding, that I knew would take my business to a whole nother level. And so we started doing the Get Ish Done Mastermind, where we bring them. They were coming from everywhere. And
now,
so
when you said they were coming, that was actually
flying in.
Okay.
They were flying in from Alabama, Florida.
And how are they hearing about these events? I want to keep kind of staying in the marketing. How are you promoting these events, or how are they hearing about
Email marketing, social media, and then I have a private Facebook group.
Okay.
Where I do a lot of my online, interaction, engagement, consideration.
Okay.
That's where the consideration comes in, right? The engagement.
Right.
And so that's how they found out about it.
Okay.
I didn't really run any ads to it because I have a specific business model where my warm traffic comes to my event, not necessarily cold traffic. My price point is about $497 for my mastermind, and that's price low. From what we shared.
You heard that. You gonna come out. You gonna. But I like what you said. Although you're charging for the event, you're gonna get a lot more coming out of that event than what you paid for. Because, and this is what gets me. And I'm glad that you said that you do that. Because what gets me is when you go to an event and they talk for 30 minutes and it's all bullshit. Fluff, right? And at the end of it, they go, if you guys want more information, I'll be in the back selling my book in my CDs for $200. I literally just spent $500-$600 coming to this event, and now you're about to hit me in the head for another, and you just hit me with fluff. That I can't do. I don't stand, and I don't support that. So it's really good that, yes, you should charge for the time and the knowledge that you have and provide more value than what you are charging.
Absolutely.
That's awesome because then people can come out of it energized, pumped, but
they
like
saw
you said at
like
the beginning,
100,
do
like
some
they
stuff.
saw, they mapped out, and it's funny because I asked them when they come in, I'm like, what's your income goal? Like, what do you want to make in your business? Like, if you had to leave your job, like, how much money do you need to make a month? And don't be shy. If it's $2,000 a month, don't be shy if it's $3,000 a month. We all started somewhere. I remember when my magic number was $3,000.
We all started from somewhere.
Yeah, I remember my magic number was I just need $3,000 so I can pay my baby, pay mortgage, whatever.
Yeah.
So don't be shy. And so it was funny because the light bulb went off, and it was like I came in here thinking that I was going to make $3,000 a month, and I just wrote out a business strategic plan, an execution plan to make $100,000 minimum.
I'm just trying to get to 50 followers. So
Not
go ahead and hit that like button and follow. But yeah, I get it. We all start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's no shame in that. There's no shame of walking in there and just saying, I'm just trying to make an extra $1,000.
That's it. Like, there's nothing wrong with that.
Because this the crazy part is once you make that $1,000,
You
that same formula.
You want another $1,000, $2,000, $3,000.
But all you have to do is use the same formula.
Absolutely.
Right? You can't reinvent the wheel. So speaking of that, how many hours did you put in working on your skills?
I stopped counting. I still. So you know this because you run ads.
Right.
So I am the customer that when you want to target your ads for someone that's going to convert.
Yep.
I am that customer. I will. See, the bad thing about this new phone case.
Okay.
What's right here?
Your credit cards.
That's a problem.
Right.
Like, they need to go back in my purse. Because when I'm online and I see something,
I got that.
I'm like, oh, okay, hold on, the card right here.
Yeah, hold on.
I don't even have to go to Elstairs anymore.
They're like, yeah, go son, I see you. Hold on real quick. Let me put this
It's
up.
bad. Like I am that client. And so I invest in myself at the level in which I want to achieve. So if I want to make $100,000, I'm going to invest over. I probably spent. I stopped counting. I don't even know.
But investing in yourself is like an athlete at practice or after practice investing in their skills.
Absolutely.
Right? It's the same thing for business owners. And I think for some in this generation, people love books and people invest, right? And and what's lovely about this is you can literally go on YouTube and invest hours in learning your skills. Like I've seen athletes to business owners to marketers, and I'm one of those marketers that will quickly go on YouTube and do my research and try to find out how to better myself. But see, I think that is what helps people get over that financial hump.
But you got to take it. You got to take it even another step further.
Okay, go ahead.
So, you're familiar with Russell Brunson?
Yeah.
Funnel hacking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do that often. Okay. So I'm a why person. Like if I get an ad, I want to see why. Like if I buy your $27, your $17, I want to see what's on the other end of it.
Yeah. Right.
Like I want to see your email sequence that you send to me. I want to see your one-time offer page that you send to me. I want to see your downsell page that you sending me to, and I want to see the other offers, and I want to look and see what your membership program look like on the inside too.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta buy that.
That's true.
In order to hack, you gotta buy. So I will buy. I will do your 17. I will do your 97. I will do your 197 just to get in the inside and see what your stuff is. So if you see DeKesha Williams buying your stuff, I'm probably hacking you.
She's wondering why. She's wondering why.
I'm just letting you know. But it takes investing, and people misunderstand this too because what they see is on the surface.
Yeah,
they only see what's on the surface. They don't know what happens behind. They don't know the strategy behind what's on the surface. So I invested in a coach that helped me with a strategy behind the surface level.
That's extremely important because that gets that surface level stuff, and that's for me. And I cared in the beginning, right? But at this point at this stage of my life, that back end stuff, the working out, the practicing, understanding cameras, mics, doing research for the person that I'm interviewing, right? That is not, because this is surface level stuff. And all the back end stuff people don't understand. Right. And I guess you have to do that work though.
Absolutely.
Right? In order to be able to position yourself as and I'm not doing this because I'm not an expert, but to position yourself as an expert in whatever field that you want to do.
Right.
Because I'm not an expert yet, and let me repeat that. I will get there, but I'm going to let the people decide whether or not I am or not. But
listen, I'll tell you straight up, you can bring any webinar platform to me, and we're going to have a debate about it. Because I have spent over 10,000 hours utilizing unless you have a new webinar platform that's come out in the last 2 years. But I've spent a greater of 5 years using EverWebinar, EasyWebinar, Webinar Jam, Webinar Ignition, Zoom, You name them. If it's a webinar platform out there, I've used it. I've built it.
I'm definitely gonna pick your head about it because that's what I'm dabbling in the Zoom because like I was telling you I've had different I have people everywhere, right? And it's just not about focusing on Richmond, it's focused on all the business owners, but I use Zoom. So I want to get your opinion and your advice on how I should move within that lane in order to produce the best content. But I'm gonna pick your head. That's some secrets. Y'all watch out for that. Let's get a little personal.
Okay.
DeKesha, how has being an entrepreneur affect your family life?
I think it actually has brought us closer.
Okay.
I mean, as you see, I brought my son with me today. If you ask him right now, son, what do you want to do once you graduate?
On my own training business.
Speak up.
On my own training business and help people work out and get better at what they want to do.
So he's following he's watching, because we talked about that, he's watching what you're doing.
And I don't program that into them.
Yeah.
And my daughter's the same way. Like, I remember sitting at the table, we were sitting at the table one day, and she said she wanted to own her own physical therapy company. And she drew in front of me the actual logo for DC Sports Medicine. And I went and I bought the domain for her business.
Oh, that's dope. I love
So it has bought, it did exactly what I wanted it to do. I wanted to be there for my kids. My daughter will tell you I haven't missed a gymnastics meet. The only reason why I think I missed football is because I was speaking somewhere.
Right.
But you can guarantee I flew back from Biloxi, Mississippi. I left a conference early and flew back from Biloxi, Mississippi, landed in Maryland, and went straight to his football game in Maryland. Like that's what's important to me.
I love it.
And they know that they have me to count on on at least being supportive. Like, my daughter will tell you, she's like, oh my God, you was home every day I got out of school.
Can't do nothing. Every time I'm like, Mom was right there.
Yep.
I'm here. How you doing?
1,288 days. Well, who counted?
Right. What motivates you? What motivates you to keep going?
I learned that I was actually self-motivated, but it's funny because I think my kids motivate me more. They're very athletic and very competitive. So I can't let them see me struggle. Like, I might get frustrated.
Yeah.
But I can't, I tell you like this, and I think I said this yesterday on a live stream. I remember it was a time that I wanted to invest in a program.
Okay.
And I didn't have the money to invest in the program.
Okay.
I don't ever want to feel that again.
Man, I'm with you. There was a time where I ain't had gas money.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't ever want to have that feeling again.
Remember I said I was going to leave my absence? That check stopped February 2014.
Yeah.
So I don't ever want to feel that.
And that's crazy that you say that, because I feel the same way now. I'm doing this because I don't know if it's a control thing. I don't know what it is. But my thing is, I control this environment, right? This is me. And no one else can control this. I don't make money off of this, right?
Right. No.
But the point is, I never wanted somebody to have that control over me to where they can say, you're done. We don't need you anymore.
Yep.
We're over. So, fine. But I will make something work. And what got me was when I didn't have money for gas and I tried to put my card in the damn gas thing and it said declined.
Yep.
And I had to reach out to someone that I didn't want to reach out to get that money. And I promised myself, never again.
I'm telling you, it will take a humbling moment.
Oh, it's a fact. But you got to go through it.
Absolutely.
And I don't think, and it made me, well, now I'm very self-aware.
Yeah. And
I wasn't at the time. But now I am. And if it wasn't for that experience, I don't think I would be where I'm at now.
Absolutely. I think that's there.
And I don't think people should be afraid of dealing with that. You get what I'm saying?
Let me tell you something. If you have been on this journey and you have not experienced that, I don't think you appreciate the journey.
That's a fact. No, that's a fact. 100%. What are your greatest fears and how do you manage those fears?
So, I literally just had this conversation. So my number one fear is to grow to the point where I'm not able to have the same level of service to my clients.
Wow.
So
that's
fear
dope.
of success.
Yeah.
Not the fear of failure, but the fear of success. And it's real.
Yeah.
Because you know, once you build a platform, once you build a name for your brand, people are going to want to work with you.
Right.
The more you put yourself out there, the more people are going to engage with you and want to convert.
Right.
And buy.
Right.
But I never wanted to be at a point, and this is a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to be at the point where I had more clients and they were complaining because they weren't getting this and they weren't being serviced. So I went out and I hired a project manager. I was like, I'm gonna get ahead of it because we don't have that problem.
No, and I think but what I'm hearing is your clients come first, and
Absolutely.
being able to provide them that same service and value as if you were a one-person show.
I want each client to feel like they're their own client.
Yeah.
But I have to put myself in the system as well as a client. Because I have to make time for my own business.
Right, that's extremely important. I love it. Do you have any idols? Like who? I mean, is there anybody DeKesha looks up, reads, listens to? It's just you.
No,
I'm just joking.
No, I have a few actually. Michelle Obama would be the first one. Michelle Obama would be the first one, and actually, I was listening to her book Becoming the other night.
Okay.
Kevin Hart would be the second one.
Okay.
And if you know me, you know I love Kevin Hart.
Okay.
But his recent car accident, has changed him.
It has.
He's humble.
No, extremely. You conference for Jumanji too.
Yes.
You could tell in his demeanor.
But he's all and somebody said this the other day. It was like we see the person that he was when he first came out.
Yeah. Because I mean, when you go through something like that, and the level that he was at, it's humbling. Because you get brought down to a level where everybody else is at. It's like
he can do for his own.
So I got a little crazy. I never shared this with anybody, so I'm
oh Lord.
So it doesn't. So I believe it doesn't. We are all the same. Once you sit your ass on that toilet to take a shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Same way. You're the same. It doesn't matter if you're a millionaire, famous, broke, middle class. We're all the same when we sit in that toilet. So, concept with going into Kevin Hart, that accident. Everybody gets in an accident that could be devastating to someone's life, wakes them up. God forbid they pass, or they're in a situation where they don't have the same way of life, but it's humbling, right? Because I've definitely been in one that will make you realize. But yes, you can see it. Yeah. So Kevin Hart, I like it.
Yeah.
I was not expecting you to say Kevin Hart. Let me tell
that's
you.
Why that right there is why.
I love it. So what's your favorite aspect about being an entrepreneur?
My favorite aspect. To be able to work from wherever I want to, when I want to. And to be able to, especially now, to be comfortable saying, no, I can't take your phone call at 8 o'clock because I go to bed at 9:30. No, I can't meet you on Saturday and because I'm at my son's football game. Like, to be able to have boundaries, stick with them, and be okay with that. There was one time I felt guilty about it. I felt obligated that I had to make myself available outside of when I wanted to.
Wow.
So the flexibility is huge, and I think it's important.
Do you think there's a formula to this to be a successful entrepreneur? And if you do think if there is, and you think there is, so do you feel like there's a formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Formula for success. I would say number one is it has to be a desire.
Okay.
There has to be a desire. You have to want it.
That's and
entrepreneurship is no easy road. Like it. I mean, and I hate to say this because this might sound cliche, but it's not for the weak. It's
but you have to say it now because aren't we in a generation where being an entrepreneur is like the cool thing. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, and they think shit ain't. It's not. But that surface level appearance with social media shows that look, they got a Ferrari, or they going here, but they don't see. And so they think success is quick, so I'm glad you said that. This road is not easy, right?
So you have to have the desire. You got to have the ability to get ish done. Like, you got to implement. You can't just keep, learning, and you're not implementing what you're learning so that you are growing. You can't stop investing in knowledge and implementation, because if you do, you stop growing. If you stop growing, then everything stops. So it's a continuous process, and you have to continue to put yourself out there. You have to show up. Like, you can't allow fear to stop you from going live, from stopping you from doing a podcast, from stopping you from writing a book. Like, if you allow fear to get in the way of anything that that you want to do, no, you're not going to be successful.
No.
You're not. Because what's going to happen is you're going to stay stagnant, and you're going to wonder why you're not growing. You want to wonder why you can't make more than $25,000, $50,000, $75,000, or $500,000. And it's because you are blocking your own self.
And I'm going to add two things to that. Is being self-aware of who you are. Mm-hmm. And two, because of this generation, because everything is so fast and in your face and people have a comment for everything, you have to have thick skin to ignore the trolls. Because there are going to be people in there that are going to say, you suck, you got a gap tooth, or you don't know what you're doing, or whatever the hell.
Be confident. You gotta block that stuff. It's funny because I was looking on a day, and I think one of the videos that I ran an ad to, the girl was like, get to the point. I'm like, either hit the fast forward button or delete.
Delete.
It's like, what?
It's not for
right. So you gotta look at that stuff with a sense of humor and keep going.
And keep it moving, right? Yeah. All right, so let's get into some quick tips and advice.
All right.
So because again, it's all about providing value to the listeners. What's crazy is you have been this whole time. So I'm looking at some of my questions. I'm like, she already talked about that. She did that. I don't know. Let's go over this one.
Okay.
If you had a chance to start your journey over, what would you do differently?
Oh, absolutely. Invest in a coach first.
Okay.
Like, if I had to start all over again, I would find somebody that's doing what it is that I wanted to do, somebody that I could model, and I would invest in that coach and model their process. Like, there's no need to recreate the wheel. No need to model. I ain't say copy. I said model.
See, that's important, right?
That's the key word is model.
And that's what successful businesses have done through the ages.
I mean, look at Netflix. Look at Hulu. Look at Amazon Prime. Like, they all Disney just launched.
Listen to that. I'm glad you mentioned that. But we don't even have to even go online. Look at Starbucks. 7-Eleven had cheaper coffee. Let's be for real. 7-Eleven had cheaper coffee. Here comes Starbucks.
Right.
And Starbucks is everywhere.
Yeah.
Right? Look at McDonald's. Burger King. Mm-hmm. Everything is a model. No copy. Just
Subway, like tropical smoothie. They all are using a business model.
I love it. Find a coach.
Yeah.
Find a coach and ride with it. I love it. What entrepreneur tricks have you discovered to keep yourself focused?
Entrepreneur tricks to keep focused?
Yeah.
That's interesting because I tell all of my students, be like a stamp and stick to one thing until it delivers.
Okay.
So the trick is, even though you have all of these ideas, stick to one. Like, for example, if you wanted to.
So guilty with them.
Yeah, like if you wanted to, you had an idea about this program, podcast, book.
Yeah.
Oh God, like YouTube. I mean, one thing until it delivers. Then you expand. There's absolutely nothing wrong with expanding, but you got to stick to one and make it work. You got to stick to one and master it until you.
Man, oh my God, I'm so crazy that you said that because that's exactly what happened to me. I had so many different ideas. And the podcast was sitting up there. Mm-hmm. But again, I have to give credit to my wife. She said, because I was
you got you a good wife.
No, I did. Yeah, I'm blessed. Because she straight up was like, look, because I was telling people about it.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, you got to stop talking your shit. And you either do it or you don't.
Execute.
What Well, look, DeKesha, I'm not going to keep you up because technically all these questions you answered throughout the entire conversation.
And that means I done my job.
You have. Tell the people how you can be reached.
So listen, literally, you can find me on every social media platform, DE_Kesha. That's DeKesha Williams, your virtual COO. If you type in Webinar Queen, I'm pretty sure you'll find me.
Huh. Excuse me. Webinar Queen. Y'all heard
Brand
that.
yourself.
You got to.
That's right.
Well, guys, thank you again for tuning in. DeKesha, I'm very humbled that you took the opportunity to take your time out to be here. Thank you again very much. Guys, thank you guys for tuning in and listening. It's been another episode of Close the Gap. Peace.